Hello folks, my name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World. How you guys doing? So, just want to haven't made a video in a few days, and in that time, our president-elect has done a lot to fulfill one of my predictions. That prediction being that he will have a little mini scandal every week. Seems like he doesn't have one a week though, seems like he's got like 10 a week, alright? He's not even president yet. Anyway, so let's start off. First thing I want to talk about is the Carrier deal, which I'm sure you all heard about last week. Carrier is a company that makes air conditioners, right? And while Trump was on the campaign trail, he stopped off at their plant and said that he was going to stop Carrier from shutting down one of the factories and sending it to Mexico, right? And he was going to save 2,100 jobs or something like that. And so that was still happening. So he swooped in like a superhero and tried to save them. And turns out that he's saving about 800 jobs, right, out of 2,100 that were originally slotted to move. But, first he lied and said that he actually saved 1,100, but really he only saved 800. And then it turns out that of those, 350 of them were not supposed to go to Mexico anyway, right? So he took credit for that, even though they weren't going to move those. And then another 80 of those were not jobs that were in the plant. They were non-union they were clerical type jobs, right? Temps, stuff like that. And he said, he's taking credit for saving those too, even though they don't have anything to do with the actual workers in that factory. And in exchange for this, Carrier gets $7 million, right, to be paid to them in $700,000 increments over the next however many years. Which is exactly what he said he wouldn't do while he was on the campaign trail. That's exactly what he said he wouldn't do. What he did say he would do is that he would cancel government contracts, which Carrier has, and also if they moved, he would put a 35% tariff on anything's coming back. But in real life, he didn't actually do that. In real life, he just gave tax breaks, which is what Republicans always do, because Republicans only give a shit about giving tax breaks. I don't understand it. So that whole thing's a fiasco. And a lot of the Republican, establishment has come out against that. Even Sarah Palin wrote an op-ed on it, calling it crony capitalism, which is it's really bad when Sarah Palin is criticizing you, right? And she's right, actually, because this is the kind of thing that it's crony capitalism is what it is. People high up in the government using their power to cut tax breaks for their rich friends. That's exactly what happened. And in the meantime, the little guy gets screwed. And to top it all off, there was a union leader, right? One of the leaders of the union of these workers at the plant, got in a freaking, went on, basically said that this whole thing was bullshit and that Trump lied and all that, because he did. And then Trump, was, because he's a fucking little man baby, couldn't, let it go and had to get into a fucking Twitter war with him. And it's well, there you go. There goes our fucking fucking thin-skinned, easily offended, crybaby fucking man-child of a president. Can't take any fucking criticism. What's going to happen when he's president in a month? He's going to be president and, Jesus Christ, what, is he just going to tweet at every single person that insults him? I don't understand. Anyway, so that's all fucked up, right? That's unsustainable, and that's kind of one of those things well, are you going to do that with every fucking company out there? Or no, it's basically that was just a fucking dog and pony show right there, to make it look like he's fulfilling one of his campaign promises, when in real life it's not even anything close. I mean, yeah, okay, 800 people have jobs still, but at what cost, right? They actually, the state of Indiana is actually losing more than they're gaining here. All right. Anyway, moving on. one last thing I want to talk about here, because I got to cut this video short, is how Trump is destabilizing everything with China because he's an imbecile. So how did it start? All right. During the campaign, he's used China as a scapegoat, saying, he saw that people were against the TPP, so he decided that, he was going to run on this populist platform, and we're not going to join it, and we have, and he used China as a scapegoat, saying that they're stealing our jobs and shit like that, blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, he gets his suits and ties made in China, and he hasn't, actually offered to bring his workers, his jobs back into the United States. No, he's not going to, get his shit made in the USA, right? Because he's a fucking hypocrite. So anyway, so what's going on is that then after he gets elected, the president of Taiwan gives him a call, and he takes the call. And why is that a big deal? Because we have this thing, the United States has a policy called the One China policy, which goes all the way back to the Chinese Civil War and shit back in 1949 or whatever, right? A long time ago, I don't know. But basically what it means is that, Taiwan and China, the old government of China is now in Taiwan. And so we don't officially recognize them, but at the same time, we do business with them. And it's a very fine line, right, that you have to do in order to not antagonize China. It's part of the reason why for, dozens of years, we had no diplomatic ties with China at all until Richard Nixon went there in the 70s and kind of opened China up to us. And now there's a reason why we get all our shit made in China. Okay, because of that, because of the One China policy, our two countries have very intricate business relations, right? And shutting that off will destroy the entire world economy, okay? It won't just, fuck up China. It will fuck us up. It will fuck up everything, right? It'll lead to an economic ruin, the likes of which we've never seen, if not World War III, all right? Because that will come first, and then after that, the nuclear bombs will go flying. And just to kind of, stamp that point home, right? So not that long after Trump took that call, right, the Chinese decided to go fly a nuclear bomber over a disputed part of the South China Sea. Just kind of sending a little message saying, don't fuck with us kind of message, right? Don't fuck it up, right? Don't mess up, the last 60 years, 40 years or whatever of, 40, however long, what is it, 1973 or whatever, so 40 some odd years of diplomatic relations, which has, led to stability and peace. Don't destroy that, because he doesn't seem to know what the fuck he's doing, all right? It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is all shit that's happened before he's even president. He doesn't even have power yet. I mean, can you imagine what's going to happen? I don't know. So there are rumors out there that, a lot of the electors in the Electoral College are thinking of, there's some revolt brewing there, right? And they're just rumors, okay? I think one guy has come out and confirmed that he's not going to vote, and then another guy resigned, and they just got someone else to vote, something like that. So if, I'm not putting any faith in that. I give the chances of, the Electoral College not electing Trump to be absolutely zero, right? But if there ever was a time where the Electoral College could step in, right, and, save the country, it's now, right? They're the reason why this fucking guy's getting elected in the first place. Let's remember that, okay? Because the popular vote went to his opponent, okay? The person who got the most votes is not going to be president, right? He's going to be president because of the Electoral College, which was a system put together designed to keep people like him from being president. All right, so if there ever was a time, right, that that this failsafe needed to kick in, this is the time. Okay, it's absolutely. I mean, it's been 5 weeks since the election, and he's like a rampaging, retarded child running through a fucking china shop with a baseball bat, just smashing everything around, and oh god. It's absolutely, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The thing is that you can't afford to just sit back and laugh at it. All right. I mean, I just read a thing where he's apparently not even taking his fucking like daily intelligence briefings. All right, it's insane, absolutely insane. So I don't know, folks. He's insane. We're insane. Everybody's insane. Adios.